Hello, I am the cartoonist M. Rashid. Today's cartoon, I also took a light and fluffy approach to it, similar to yesterday's. But I think the actual meaning and what it's inspired from is actually serious and darker than I initially assumed. Because today I started to actually focus in on the people who post words, and the left can't meme, and I'm not reading all that. Those guys. At first, I was just dismissing them as like goofy trolls. I wasn't really thinking about them, you know. That I just, like I referenced in one of my texts in the verbiage in my video description, my channel description, that that I would block people who are just filling up space, who just give the impression of, you're not bringing anything of substance. You're just saying stuff just to like try to weakly get a rise out of me, But then I start actually thinking about what they're actually saying. And then I started, I have I'm not sure if they're intending these just for them among themselves, or if they're intending them for me to see. I'm not sure which one that is. Because if they're just intending it for each other, then it's just a gag. But they're saying the exact same thing over and over in all these threads. And I'm like, okay, if you're just doing it for you, does this reflect your sense of humor? Like, objectively, is this that funny that you would keep saying that over and over again in exactly that same way? And it started to be not likely. It's not like that demographic doesn't have an actual sense of humor. Of course, like, there's really great, white comedians who are genuinely funny. So I'm like, okay, you're complaining that my work isn't funny and that kind of stuff, but I told you I don't do chuckle, surface level comedy humor. I don't do that. My cartoons are my artistic expression of the work I research, of my anti-racism, pro-Black American reparations research stuff, like my readings and stuff in that from like Tony Vet's work, and I'm willingly inspired by that body of material, and as an artist, that's my output. It's not designed to be ha ha hee hee like surface level funny. This is, here's a gag to chuckle at. I don't do that kind of work. If I do it, I'm doing it at the spur of the moment for, just to be doing it. Just came on my head and I just want to do a quick gag just for a laugh. But that doesn't represent the body of my work. Like when I darkly made fun of that the grizzly guy and his suicide by bear thing, and I did the Winnie the Pooh image in it. That came specifically from goofing around with some people on Twitter, and then I tweeted the gag, and and then I drew it later. That's when I'm being ha ha hee hee giggle. My actual weapon of the people decoded body of work is not designed for humor. It's designed as my artistic expression of my research interests. That's it. So if you interpreted that as you're not funny because I don't bust out laughing haha from my diaphragm every time I see your work, so your work is a failure, you're thinking too little. You're thinking too narrowly, if that's what you actually think. So I don't do that kind of work. I explained that before, and as I recall, I think the response was cope or whatever you got put there. So being able to have a conversation or an argument of value requires the parties involved to like actually be listening and like taking in information and processing it. And then, if you can't actually have discourse, then your opinion is low. It makes your opinion low because you can't actually communicate. So, back to my point, like I don't do that kind of work, the comedy. I'm not a comedian. So, if you're thinking that by saying words, this is too wordy, or I'm not reading all that, and you're just saying it for among each other, and you're ordering holes and high-fiving each other, and that's the only point, and it's not actually intended for me to see, then it's coming across as weird, because it's objectively not funny, because you keep repeating the literal exact same thing over and over and over again. But I know you have a sense of humor. There's great white comedians, so it's not like you're devoid of humor as a race. That's impossible. You know what funny is. So now I'm no longer sure that you're just doing it for each other. That's no longer seems reasonable. Which means you're doing it for me. So now I'm like, okay, are they saying that for me? Words. I'm not reading all that. Too much text. So as far as I can see, if I lean there, if you are actually doing it for my benefit, you're doing it to try to influence me. Okay, well, let's look at it. On the bullet one, the first thing I see, then you're presenting yourself in your white supremacist pagan religion. You're presenting yourself as the smartest human on earth. That's how you present yourself. That's what you want me to think about you. You want everybody to think about that, but you especially want me to think that. You want me to think that the white race are the pinnacle of human evolution as you've defined it. Monkey boy. You want me to think that you are the smartest human on earth. And you're repelled when you see a block of text. When you see text, you recoil, like, I don't want to read all that. That's too much to read. This is the impression you want me to get. That's bullet one. Bullet one is you simultaneously want me to think you are the smartest of us all, and you hate to read. So, the smartest human is quasi-literate and has a disdain for reading. Words, all those words, string together 4 words at a time. I'm not reading 5 words or more. That's the impression you give on that level. Bullet number 2. Or you're trying to craft a new black code for me as the Black American artist. You're trying to create a black code for me. A black code that says, if I must be a creator, and you don't have a problem with black creators because that's a pool of IP you can steal and, appropriate and make a profit of and give me a few pennies while you, in our normal relationship in America, you don't have a problem with me as a creator, as an originator and a creator. You actually love that. You've made your fortunes from that. So, if I must be a creator, and you do encourage this, or maybe that era is over and you're like trying to get the immigrants to do it or whatever, and like you just want me in the gray wastes and keep it simple, maybe. But if I continue to be the creator, a Black American ADOS creator, then I'm only allowed to create inside of this box that you've, as a white person, you've created for me. These are the parameters that I'm allowed to create in. I'm not allowed to step out of that box. This is the nature of your black code, of your new black code for me. So either bullet one, the wannabe projecting smartest human in the world is quasi-literate and has a disdain for reading, or you've created a new black code. You're trying to influence me in that way from this continuous bombardment of subliminal messaging. Words, too many words. Stop making all these, I ain't reading all that. Personally, I lean towards the first bullet as my first mind, which is why I dismiss those out of hand. I'm like, you're the dumbest people in the universe in his sites, continuously trying to tell me that I need to like write less and express myself less. I lean that way naturally, that you're dumb. Now I'm focusing on this other thing. I'm like, well, what if they're not dumb? And this is an attempt to influence me. And they're trying to like see if I slowly start making less and less text. I told you my style is to rant. By now, like 12 videos in, you know that pretty well. I can just go. I have to like actually like make the effort to stop myself from just going on, and because I love the video formats. Like I've been following a lot of people, but I do like look at that ticker. I'm like, how many minutes? Yikes. How many? So I have a few that are in the 30-minute. I have one that's almost an hour, and I'm like, oh. But it was so much to like say in the topic. I didn't want to like cut it off before, and I probably do have to like go back and revisit some of those just to see what I intended to say more, and then just make another video of it. But I rant. I can go. So, and because I rant, that is my style. And when I'm expressing myself honestly in my art, that's what I sound like. And it will be reflected in my word balloons and my cartoons. And I will not change that because that's me. My art represents me. It is an extension of me. And that's how I flow. But you, as a random white person on the internet, is trying to influence me. Maybe. Or maybe you're just actually quasi-illiterate and dumb as the superior Eye-Cueist. Pick one, please. Pick one. You're the superior Eye-Cueist, smartest human in the universe, and you love to read, or you're not. Choose. And let's move forward from there. Because right now I'm like, what is he trying to say exactly? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to black coat me? Are you trying to like subliminally implant a black code in my mind? I told you I lean towards the first bullet. And I have very little respect for that for people who like, I don't like to read. Reading? Who does that? What is this, like 1720? No one reads anymore. As if. I don't like that. I don't, people in real life that I know do that. I'm like, huh? This is the information age. You're supposed to read. You're supposed to read. I have the internet at my command. This is like reading is everywhere. The internet, I downloaded my entire rare book wish list that I inherited from my dad, added my own books to it, and found every one of them as a free PDF somewhere. And I'm like, that's the best. Read. It's good for you. And as you read, your vocabulary increases, and I personally get verbose and want to rant. That's my style. I love it. I'm not going to change my style because of people who are expressing themselves in a way that I do not respect want me to change who I am. So I don't expect you to stop. You can keep posting that. I don't care. I expect you to continue going, and it'll be a battle of wheels. You'll be patiently waiting for me to be influenced and to see my rants drop in word count, and I'll be patiently watching if you're genuinely gonna keep doing this. Are they serious? Are they still gonna keep saying that in every single thread? Eventually, you'll get tired of it and stop talking about me in your site. You'll eventually get tired of it and move on. But you'll do that before I change who I am. This is how I express myself. This is how I function. Peace.